Hey guys, welcome back to some more Mighty Number 9. Starting off, we're Cole here just typing on something, and a conversation between the professor and Sanda.
Dr. Sanda, this is only the beginning. Cole,
So, let me get this straight, because I've never really played this game, and you know, I don't know these characters. Dr. White is the guy that made Beck, right?
Yeah, he's basically the Dr. Light of this universe.
Then,
in the same way that Dr. Is it Hondo? No. Whatever the other guy's name, I keep forgetting.
Yeah, like, he's supposed to be more like, I wouldn't really necessarily say the Wily, because there's not really a Wily in this story. You got the bad guy, but he's not necessarily the mad scientist.
okay. But what I was saying in the last part is, I like that the one thing I will give Mighty Number 9 credit for is Beck's copy ability. He does change his appearance quite a lot better in a way, like, you know, in the classic Mega Man's, all he did was change his color, was robot armor. This one is just like, okay, he's got like a, you know, battle.
The Robot Master weapon becomes your aesthetic.
Yeah, pretty much that.
And that's the thing that other Mega Man series have done countless times. Mega Man Battle Network was great.
Yes.
And then Star Force, I think Mega Man X and Mega Man Zero would. Classic is finally getting to that same dimension as well, which is fantastic.
Yeah, which I was mentioning in the last part. Mega Man 11, which just got announced earlier this year. I'm really excited for it. But they showed concept art for one of Mega Man's new weapons, which was like the cement block.
Wait, what am I doing? Okay, sorry to
what
interrupt, but I think I think that was an editing mistake. All right, well, that's the one random time you got to see that.
That was a mistake, was it?
Yeah, because how I normally record these kind of things is I splice it up, and I watched all the parts. I think I had some kind of editing mishap there because I was supposed to cut that out.
Did you skip through the dialogue and wanted to edit it?
I think it was more or less like something like that, yeah. Or wanted to start in a new part, but I didn't cut out that. Wow, I knew it only took over 6 years, but it finally slipped through the cracks.
Yeah, it's like
I've done it before.
Nightmare in Dreamland extra episode all over it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's happened to me plenty of times before.
I mean, I'm just glad it happened here in a shorter game compared to a longer one where we're sitting here for an extra 5 minutes because of that. It's like, oh, that would just feel embarrassing.
So refresh us. Who are we going after next?
So this is... I can't remember the guy's name. It's hard to remember a lot of the names of the Robot Masters in this one. It's the tank guy.
Mighty number... Which number is this? The Mighty number 3?
Yeah, I think that's it. Because I'm going in weakness order, so this is the next guy you fight after Italian.
Oh,
because he's weak to the weapon.
The purple stuff is the spikes.
Yep, that's a one-hit KO.
Okay.
Don't fall on him.
Lightning spikes for the win.
But anyways, it's like, yeah, Mega Man 11 just got announced earlier this year, and they did change the art design, and they kind of showed concept art of how Mega Man's new weapon, which is like a cement block that he drops on the enemies, and his armor changed dramatically. Like, they showed like a cement-like style costume in a way, and I do appreciate that they did that, because even though I love the classic Mega Man, it is kind of boring and bland when to look at it. It's just all he did was just change the color scheme of his robot armor.
Yeah,
it's really a nice touch to do something like that.
That's why I love Battle Network, because when you get the Soul Union abilities, 4, 5, and 6, it changes Mega Man's appearance to match that of who he's fused with, and that immediately says to me, this is what a full copy Robot Master weapon transformation should be. It should give you the full aesthetic, not just the weapon. Yeah. Because then it actually fully justifies the transformation more.
Yeah. And that's one thing I will give Mighty Number 9 that I like that they did, is they made that.
Because in terms of design, I don't think the character design and even just like graphically design, it's not terrible. Yeah, I mean, in terms of like main graphics, yeah, it could have been a heck of a lot better. There's a reason why we all joke about the explosions being pizzas.
I mean,
they are the sauciest.
I was mostly just joking the fact that, you know, this graphic to me is fine considering what the kind of this game we're dealing with. Like, I don't mind it being this way because it's you know, it's cartoon robots. I can't take it seriously if it's like, oh, the graphics are gonna be awesome, great, and amazing. It's just like, no. If it's trying to go with what it was going with, it's fine.
Although
but
I will interject, at least with the voice acting could be a different story. Like that line right there that Beck said, I hate the delivery of that line. It's just as bad as like Sonic Adventure days. Just as the professor predicted, and it just cuts off. Like at least finish it. He didn't finish the sentence, but at the same time, his voice acting didn't finish it either.
And I can definitely tell from this boss fight, it is suffering from Maverick Hunter X syndrome, where it's saying shotgun ice, shotgun ice, shotgun ice every time you use a weapon.
Every time you do use a weapon, Beck doesn't say the name, luckily, but at the same time, he does make some kind of sound effect. It can get a little annoying.
It is a bit jarring, I will say, that Seismic is one of the more quiet of the Mighty Numbers.
Well, he's supposed to be more like
effectively
the bronze, where he doesn't have much of a brain.
Yeah.
Oh, so Gutsman.
Gutsman.
Yeah.
I was about to say Gutsman's not that quiet.
No.
Gutsman's one of the most talkative in a lot of the different canons. So
There's a lot of
just
weird
felt a bit
tropes that they use in this game in particular, because there's a lot of things they like to do.
I like that one. See,
I like that you actually get the tank. I love that.
It might actually look funny, but actually that's one of my favorite powers in the game. It's not great in terms of damage, but at the same time, you move so much faster when you use that. While at the same time, you do damage enemies enough to at least get them weak enough to dash through. So a lot of times, I just like using the tank form, bouncing on enemy head, zipping through with my dash, and going back in tank.
Yeah, now Mick has more to say.
Yeah, so if you get the advice thing appear on the stage, that's how you know this boss is weak to that specific mighty number. Because the one that talks to you is the one you use the weakness with. So in this case, we use mixed weapon.
Advice and effects. So the weather environment actually links directly to weakness, as opposed to like Mega Man X1, where it just sometimes changes a different irrelevant stage.
Which, this does have Mega Man X syndrome when it comes to changing stages, because the mighty numbers do show up in the stages to help back out. Some of them are pretty helpful, like the last stage, others not so much. Like this one, actually I feel like this is one of the ones that don't help you at all, and in fact kind of gets in the way a bit. Because Mick actually pulls a car in front of your vision, so you can't see for like a split second.
See, that's the thing that threw me, because I know that Arby turns up in Pyro's stage, but I could have sworn that Cryo was Pyro's weakness.
No. No, Cryo actually isn't. I don't remember what Cryo was the weakness towards.
Because Arby turns up in his stage, that's why I thought it might have been him, but to me, immediately using the Ice Cube water weapon to the weakness.
I mean, now thinking about it, I think Cryo's weapon is probably the one you want to use against Bash here. Because that's the only one that doesn't talk to you if you do the weakness order. So if that's the case, then Cryo would be the one you'd want to go into Bashing the stage with. Which that's probably one of the better weapons in the game too, because it can freeze enemies on contact and give them chip damage, which is pretty useful. I only use it once in a while though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh look, hey, it's Big Blue.
Yeah. Also, hi, Aaron from Game Grumps. You paid too much money into this game. He was one of the many generous backers, I think.
Oh. I just now got it when you said that. I was like, jumping on cars.
No, no, he was actually in the background. Did you not see him on one of the big? Yeah. No, did you not see him on one of the billboards?
Yeah,
no,
he was wearing a yellow shirt.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
He was wearing a yellow shirt, wasn't he?
Oh, that's funny.
Oh no, it was just like the Aaron head they used for the Game Grumps art.
Okay.
It was that version
I was
of
looking
him.
at a different ad then.
Oh, okay.
So they took the shovel knight.
Yeah, because there is one stage actually that it's the sniper stage. You get to see portraits of people who were like the biggest backers in the game, the ones that met the tier that have their pictures in the game. So that's the Shovel Knight approach right there.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, they give you a lot of weapon power-ups with that weapon.
The thing is, in general with the weapons, is they recharge. So if you wait around long enough, you've seen that bar fill. So you can just stand around and then you can use your weapon again. I actually like that change.
Spam that weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty neat change.
Yeah, this is what I don't like about Mick. Look what he does. He pulls this away, and that's about it, but I feel like this gets in the way a little bit more. Like, Mick, you're not really doing much. You're literally pulling a truck that's slower than the rest of the traffic.
Which means it takes longer for you to see where your jump is.
Yeah. I think that truck does move a little bit quicker if he doesn't pull it.
That RV is
that would make me nervous. But What was I gonna say? Crap. Darn it, I was gonna say something, I can't remember. I really hate when that happens.
I told you to stay away.
Are these guys like just flat out turn Maverick or something?
In a sense, yeah, because their data gets corrupt. That's like the reason behind it. So yeah, they're basically going Maverick because Beck has to go and fix them up basically by absorbing them, like assimilating.
Yeah, assimilating, so he could basically purify the disrupted code.
Well, in the same sense, he gets a piece of their code, which is how he's using their weapons.
Yeah. Kind of like in the same way that in Mega Man Powered Up, if you just use the Mega Buster, it helps fix them up. But if you use a special weapon, it usually blows them up completely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just now remember
fun
what I was
things you'll
gonna say,
learn.
Too. The advice thing. So pretty much they flat out just tell you the the weaknesses of the bosses.
Yeah.
Instead of you having to just experiment with all your weapons and see which one's
They basically tell you as long as you beat the boss with that set level, you'll see the advice thing appear because that doesn't show up unless you have that weapon in your arsenal.
Yeah.
Closer. One more step.
Now fighting Brand here with mixed weapon, it's good because it's his weakness, so you kill him quicker. But it's awkward. It's very awkward, and you'll see once we start fighting.
So it really is the super arm then. 'Cause that's one of the most awkward
basically
weapons to use.
And I think it might be a little bit worse at times because you're also bouncing on top. Actually, it's more like the top spin.
He looks like Proto Man almost.
I think that's the vibe they were trying to go with. Actually, I get more Zero vibes from him than anything else, especially with the hair.
That's the thing. I was gonna say, back to the Ray topic. I feel like Ray is a combination of Zero and Proto Man.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to be like that.
Just jumping on his head with a little tank.
And that's what makes it awkward, because he can hit you out of that. I hate this attack,
Now we're playing DuckTales.
This attack is so hard to dodge. You gotta be moving extremely quick.
Fast.
Yeah. They don't give you too much time. And if you play this game on Mania mode, you know, the one-hit KO mode, I pity you. That is next to impossible to dodge at times.
No. Actually, I think he gives me more of a Swordman vibe, actually.
Yeah, he does.
A little bit, just because of how precisely screen end to screen end his sword attacks are.
Yeah, I can see that.
I thank you.
Bran was the one that was the least corrupted, though, because he wanted Beck to save him the entire time. He told him to stay away. So, in a sense, he is almost like the Proto Man in that regard, because Proto Man, for a while in a lot of the games, was considered this mysterious bad guy. But at the same time, always tried to help Mega Man, and Bran's kind of that same kind of character.
I know his name is Brandish. I know his name is Brandish, but I feel like his nickname should have been Randy, to be honest.
Look at the expression on
Whoa!
his face.
Look, Sportsman's hand literally goes through his hand.
Afro.
His hand is going through the hair.
Your afro in the lab.
Now the Brandish weapon, is that the most OP weapon in the game?
I still think the crash bombing is, because that does more damage, but Bran's weapon is basically like the Z-Saber, but quicker. So you can use that thing just to plow through small enemies real fast.
I saw people like beat the final boss in like 30 seconds with that weapon.
It is one of the best because when you're swinging the sword, you actually are invincible. So there's a lot of iframes with that, and you can basically just stand there swiping constantly, and enemies can literally shoot through you.
Lovely. I mean, what? I don't know. I feel like a lot of people hype up Battalion's weapon, but I feel like it's very... And especially challenge mode made me realize it's very situational.
It is, yeah. It does a lot of damage, but at the same time, it's not good for everything. For the main game, it's probably one of the best things to use, because most of the time, you're far enough away from things, and you want to bunch it up in one explosion anyways. But for the challenges, you notice it's more spread out.
Mighty number 3, Dynatron, was spotted at this
Dynatron?
This is one of the hardest stages to do. I actually remember I played one of the early demos of the game. I was able to find download online to try it. And this stage was in it. This is the stage that forces you to learn a move they have no ideas in the game unless you read the tips. The crouch dash. And everyone hated it.
Now, this is the lightning stage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, I'm looking at the Twitter right now. The last update from the Mighty Number 9 official Twitter was last September 2016.
Yeah, that's when the game pretty much came out.
Drive, Lester, drive!
Meet me.
This is really sad. I don't think
Sad? No, this is fantastic. I love it.
Here's me coming through. Rush hour. I didn't mention, but also when you're in the tank mode, in front of you there is a little shield. It's only really good for like small projectiles, but it's still enough to plow through most things.
Excuse me, coming through. I'm coming through.
It's like the charge kick, but good.
This is why I see a lot of speedrunners use, because the tank is so quick. And at this point, I also have enough weapons I usually like to use, because I swap between the 3 weapons we have now. So I now just start to assign things to quick commands. I do use the other weapons, but some more than others, and the ones I use the most, I just put on the quick commands.
Call me predictable because I haven't technically beaten all the mighty numbers yet, but I use Arvy's weapon the most. I basically start a stage with it.
I can't really use it
because
too
I know
much.
my jumping skills are so terrible that I need the gyro. Plus, I love Gyro Man in Mega Man 5.
I find it
my favorite
useful when you're in like the air turbine areas because it gives you better control of yourself. But I got so used to the dash right away that I didn't really need it for my jumps. To correct my jumps, I just like the dash.
Oh, tiny bots.
Yeah, this you want to use Brand's weapon with the tiny bots, and the reason why is because they're so small, your shots actually go over their heads, but the sword slashes don't.
What really baffles me about this stage still, and I didn't pick up on initially when I did it, is the fact that Sander is on this map level with you, and is locked inside the facility, even though he was in Dr. White's lab literally minutes ago.
He teleported with us.
Came with Beck and got locked inside.
And he's scared of the dark because he's a scaredy cat, but he tries to deny it.
You suck so hard. You suck so bad that you got captured while you were here like 2 minutes ago.
Also, it's like,
is
Dr. Sandra? Is Dr. Sandra like secretly 3 years old? Is he secretly 3 years old? Because my God, everything he says, I don't hear any adult say ever. No matter how childish they really are.
What, poppycock?
No, like hui mama.
Oh.
There's one line later in the game, and I legitimately questions everything. Like, this is your family-friendly way of not saying, ah, crap. And it's like, oh, peas and carrots. Who says that?
I say it was son of a biscuit eater, but...
Yeah, but
makes
that's
more
actually
sense.
funny.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff that Sandra says, huh? Are you reaching?
I'm sorry, every time you say Sandra, I'm hearing Sandra, and I'm like, Lester.
Let me just tell you a little story of a. Let me go tell you a little story of a man named Samuel L. Jackson that made the best dub out of a movie ever. Just saying, I'm tired of all these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane.
That's right.
That's like one of the best scenes.
I will never forget that was the best like dub over of the mother effer word, you know.
That, and also I think what Team 4-Star did in one of their DBZ Abridged episodes, it was pretty much the same idea.
I forgot which one they did.
It was like there was so much cursing that Vegeta did, in, like the Frieza arc. They just pretty much censored it all out, but he watched the deleted scene at the end. And it's just basically him doing the Samuel L. Jackson of like, oh, Mother Fridge, climbing Mount Everest, stuff like that. Like replacing all the words with different things. And it just sounded hilarious.
Yeah, I love that.
The ending is like the only part they don't censor out for the main episode. And just when you hear with a goddamn pig, you're like, alright, I want to hear the rest of this conversation.
Wow, this makes so much sense now.
The best thing about using this weapon is it destroys the little projectiles that she shoots at you.
Oh, of course.
Same for the Crash Bomb equivalent. I only really use that in the beginning of the second phase just to get rid of those things right away because they're really annoying.
Wow,
but then you just blast them away for the rest of the time. It's ridiculous.
Jeez. Okay,
when you use the weakness,
to go into Brandish next.
Yeah, when you use the weaknesses for bosses, these fights are a joke. But when you try the Buster only these, they're really difficult.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty much the same thing a lot of Mega Man games do. I think more like the X games than anything else. Because the X games had that big thing where you can easily stun lock things, and it's a joke for most of Mavericks. But then when you try the Buster, it's the most challenging thing.
Spark Mandrill.
Any boss in X3.
Oh my gosh. I still
Good
can't.
Golly.
Spark Mandrill still gets me.
We need another Maverick Hunter X.
Yes, we do.
Really?
Legacy Collection should have been in HD.
Oh, by the way, all the X games are coming to current gen consoles, so I'm excited for that.
We can finally have a re-release of X, 7, and 8. About time.
I know, because everyone wanted those games.
Hey, at least you want to try 8, and 7 you kind of just want to forget about.
Same with 6.
This is true.
6 is pretty bad too.
Well, wasn't it a thing of 6 is considered, like, 6 by the developer was considered uncanon?
6
he
was
wanted it to end with
when he was done.
He wanted it to end with X5 and then transition straight into 0-1.
6 was when he was done, and Capcom wanted to continue, so it ruined the whole Zero arc they were trying to make. Which really didn't help.
Oh, I prepared myself. I hid and repaired myself.
I hid and repaired myself. You're
Sure.
a master of duct tape, Zero.